In a bold new plan, Israel is planning to control 75% of the Gaza Strip within the next 2 months. And yesterday, on Jerusalem Day, the status quo was once again broken on the Temple Mount, but not in the way that you think. I'm Justin Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. The IDF just made a bold new plan to take control of and hold 75% of the Gaza Strip. But first, the Houthis in Yemen are still firing missiles at Israel. At 5 o'clock this morning, sirens sounded in Jerusalem and all over Samaria here. Sirens went off in the nearby towns of Itamar and Elon Moreh, but they didn't go off here in Har Bracha. Thankfully, thank God, the IDF was able to intercept the missile and no one was injured. A short time later, a second missile was shot down with no sirens going off this time. Meanwhile, the IDF is continuing to pound the Gaza Strip. Just in the last couple of days, the Israeli Air Force has struck over 200 targets. They said the targets included terror operatives, weapons depots, anti-tank and sniper positions, tunnel shafts, and other infrastructure. Also, on Sunday night, they struck key terrorists who were embedded in a school turned shelter in Gaza City's Daraj neighborhood. The IDF said, quote, "The command and control center was used by the terrorists to plan and gather intelligence in order to carry out terror attacks against Israeli civilians and IDF troops in the area." As usual, the military, of course, took all the precautionary steps to get civilians out of harm's way before the strike. Contrary to what is being put out in the media, the IDF very much cares about civilians and they do everything they can to get civilians out of harm's way before they do strikes like these. 3 rockets were also launched from southern Gaza towards Israel, with 2 of them falling short in the Gaza Strip. The third one was intercepted by the IDF before it even crossed the border. And all of this comes as Israel just announced that they plan to take control of 75% of the Gaza Strip. So basically, as part of the IDF's new offensive, Gideon's Chariots, they plan to control 75% of Gaza within 2 months and push the Palestinian population into 3 designated zones. The Mawasi coastal area in the south, which was previously labeled as a humanitarian zone, a central region including Da'ir al-Bala and Nuseirat, where Israeli ground forces have not yet operated, and the core of Gaza City, where many civilians returned during a past ceasefire. The IDF will then work to seize the rest of Gaza, eliminate Hamas infrastructure, demolish most of the buildings, and maintain control for the foreseeable future. This area will include all of Rafah, Khan Yunis, and the towns north of Gaza City. Military officials said that they're shifting focus from just eliminating terror operatives, probably partly because they've eliminated so many of Hamas leaders already, to capturing and holding territory and destroying infrastructure. On Sunday, during a visit to Gaza, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir said that the fighting against Hamas was, quote, not an endless war. He said, "We are intensifying our activity in accordance with the orderly plan. Hamas is under tremendous pressure. It has lost most of its assets and its command and control." Guys, let's continue to pray for the IDF as they enter this new phase of the war. Pray that they would be able to accomplish their goals to completely destroy Hamas and also get all of the hostages back. And speaking of people on the front lines, Magen David Adom is Israel's emergency services system, which means that they're the first ones on the scene at every terror attack, rocket attack, car accident, heart attack, whether it's terror related or not. They dispatch every ambulance in the nation and they receive thousands of emergency calls every single day. And the incredible thing is that 90% of their 37,500 EMTs, paramedics, and first responders are volunteers. They're the ones who are on the front lines of this 7-front war that Israel is still facing. Since October 7th, they've saved thousands of lives and they continue to do so every single day. But they need our help to do this effectively. With Israel's resources strained to the breaking point with the continued war, Magen David Adom needs more emergency vehicles, bandages, medical supplies, and so much more to respond to every terror attack and every other daily emergency that's happening here in Israel. People ask us all the time what they can do to bless Israel during this war. Well, this is one of the best ways that you can do that. You can be a part of making sure Magen David Adom is equipped with everything that they need to save more lives here in Israel. Just go to savelivesinisrael.com to make a real difference today, or click the link in the description below. Yesterday, the status quo was broken on the Temple Mount. And no, that does not mean that violent settlers stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque like Al Jazeera and others would just love you to believe. So yesterday was Jerusalem Day, marking 58 years since Jerusalem was liberated in 1967. And National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir visited the Temple Mount. He said this: "Today, thank God it is possible to pray on the Temple Mount, to bow down on the Temple Mount. We thank God for that." And he posted on social media, quote, "I ascended the Temple Mount in honor of Jerusalem Day and prayed for victory in the war, the return of all our hostages, and the success of the incoming Shin Bet chief, Major General David Zini. Happy Jerusalem Day." MK Amit Halevi also led some prayers up there. I saw videos of guys wearing tefillin as well. But I think the best one that I saw was MK Zvi Sukkot was able to raise the Israeli flag on the Temple Mount, and he said, "Har habayit be'yadenu," or "the Temple Mount is in our hands."
Har habayit be'yadenu, har habayit be'yadenu, har habayit be'yadenu. As
usual, there was a lot of criticism. Jordan condemned all the visits to the Temple Mount. They said East Jerusalem is an occupied city over which Israel has no sovereignty. And the Palestinian Authority also condemned what it described as the, quote, extremist Ben-Gvir storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is just insane and ridiculous. Later on in the day, tens of thousands of Israelis marched through the streets of Jerusalem for the annual Jerusalem Day Flag March. This is from Jewish Breaking News. Known as the Dance of Flags, the event drew an estimated 20,000 participants and was accompanied by a large security deployment. Tensions flared at Damascus Gate, where minor confrontations between Jewish and Arab youths broke out before the march. Police on site quickly intervened to separate the groups. Ben-Gvir made an appearance at the site and was greeted with cheers. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich took part in the march as well. The night before, a massive Israeli flag was unfurled at the Western Wall Plaza, which is just awesome. That's it for today, guys. Let's pray for the time when those celebrations can be moved up to the Temple Mount with a house of prayer for all nations standing there. Don't forget to check out Magen David Adom. Just go to savelivesinisrael.com to make a real difference, or click the link in the description below. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.